They said it couldn't be done. It has been done. New Guinness Light. A totally new beer. There's never been anything like it. Cool, refreshing, satisfying, and a lot lighter than it looks. New Guinness Light breaks all the rules, yet gets the balance just right. New Guinness Light.
Oh, that looks beautiful.
Who said it couldn't be done?
In this episode of Innovation Graveyard, we'll be bringing it closer to home with a look into how Guinness thought they had created one of the best innovations in the world of stout, just for it to be scrapped within 24 months. Guinness is one of the biggest beer companies in the world. Established in 1759, the company is so large that it currently sells over 10 million pints around the world every single day. However, in the 1970s, things weren't looking so great for Guinness. In Ireland, the sale of Draught Guinness was becoming stagnant. The new generation of drinkers weren't interested in heavy and bitter taste of the original Guinness. More refreshing, fizzy and less heavy lagers had started to make their way into the market, and stout was now seen as outdated when compared to the new beers on the block. In Guinness's eyes, stout was a rite of passage in Irish culture, and it had to be protected. That, and well, Guinness didn't want to lose all their business to the new competition, so they went about creating a new modern Guinness for the next generation of drinker. In what was considered a genius move at the time, Guinness decided to create a lighter, lower calorie version of their iconic stout. For inspiration, Guinness looked across the pond to the US. In the late 1960s, Miller Lite, a lighter and low calorie beer, was launched in the US with great success, essentially creating a new category of beer. So Guinness took a leaf out of their book and came up with Guinness Light. At just 4% and lower in calories, and with a lighter, more refreshing flavour, this was the perfect choice for the younger generation, and a great way to keep young people interested in Guinness. Before launching, Guinness carried out extensive market research. There was a rigorous testing and tasting process for men and women between 18 to 25, the target market for this innovation. The participants in the research loved it. The younger generation loved Guinness Light far more than the traditional stout. So Guinness thought they were onto a winner. This was the perfect idea that would blend old and new, traditional and futuristic, black and light. So they backed their idea. Like fuel to the fire, Guinness introduced this beer to the Irish public. There is a common misconception that Guinness released this beer all across the country in 1979. However, this is not true. In reality, the beer was only launched in 3 major Irish cities: Belfast, Dublin and Limerick. Now, it wasn't launched across the country, but the cities where it was launched, Guinness spared no expense. They went all out in their advertising to build awareness for this new beer. From TV to outdoor posters, for a new product launch, it was unprecedented in Ireland at the time. Guinness Light was everywhere. Every pub in these cities was plastered with Guinness Light. Show cards, drip mats, posters, specifically printed pint glasses. Everywhere you looked, it was Guinness Light. Guinness made TV commercials with Neil Armstrong walking on the moon, with a deep voice American giving a heartwarming speech about how Guinness was doing the impossible, changing the world and taking a leap into the future. They equated the creation of Guinness Light with some of humanity's greatest technological achievements, like walking on the moon. Is it possible they overdid it? Well, yes. But was it eye-catching and did it do a crushing job of building intrigue all across Ireland? Absolutely. And the campaign worked wonders. In just a few months, almost half the drinking population had tasted the drink, and 90% of the drinking public was aware of this new beverage. And one thing that's forgotten is it was embraced by pubs all over, because they saw it as a way to connect and serve a younger audience. So, what happened? How did a drink with all this incredible advertising and great taste get quietly discarded in February 1981? Barely 2 years after it was released. But before we dive in, let me tell you about our free trend reports we've created especially for you. We've created market research reports on some of the most interesting and intriguing food trends in the world, like vertical farming, ghost kitchens and more. And we want to give you access absolutely free, to keep you on the verge of cutting trends in food. In these reports, we've given you everything you need to know in an easy, digestible report with loads of examples of innovation in the space. So you can sign up now, absolutely free, link in the bio. Now let's look at the downfall of Guinness Light. You see, although Guinness covered a lot of ground with the research and marketing, there was still a few glaring aspects of the drinking experience that Light just couldn't reach. We pinpointed 2 main reasons why Guinness Light failed, both of which are interlinked. Firstly, girly Guinness. Back in the 1970s, pubs were like churches. People from different backgrounds, ages and cultures came together in these pubs to have a refreshing pint and a heartwarming drinking experience. And although their research pointed to success, they failed to factor in the role of social interaction in the way we drink. David Gluckerman was the man in charge of finding out why the seemingly successful drink failed so terribly. And I think the best reason is summarised by one young man who was interviewed by Gluckerman. The man described his first encounter with Guinness Light like this. I walked into a local bar and it was decked out with Guinness Light material. It was everywhere, posters and beer mats. There was even special Guinness Light pint glasses. It all struck a chord, so I remember seeing a TV advert about it and I decided to order a pint. It appeared in a special glass and looked pretty tasty. As I put it to my lips, a hand tapped me gently on the shoulder and a man said, "You're cheating, you're drinking a lady's Guinness." What Guinness failed to take into consideration was that one of the key strengths of the Guinness brand was its masculinity. Men at the time wanted to seem tough, and one way they could exhibit their strength was how well they could handle their beer. As a result, diluting the beer felt like they were reducing the masculinity of the drink, and Guinness loyalists were having none of that. It may have been fine if younger drinkers weren't in close proximity to Guinness diehards, but they were, and sadly the fear of being considered weak turned many younger drinkers away from Guinness Light, even if they enjoyed the taste. Secondly, the price premium. To add insult to injury, Guinness Light cost 2p more than the regular Guinness. This might seem irrelevant to you now, but in 1979 a pint cost 47p, so that was a 5% increase. If you were planning to have a good scoop that night, the premium could add up, but it wasn't so much the cost. Sadly for most people it felt like paying more for less. Why would you pay more for what seemed like a lesser product? It just didn't make any sense. This combined with the fact that no one wanted to be seen outside drinking a lady's drink shut the lights on Guinness's great big idea. All in all, Guinness Light only seen the light of day for less than 2 years. Dying in its infancy, Guinness's innovation was not a total failure. Although the product was not accepted at the time, Guinness could still boast one of the most successful product launches and futuristic advertisement campaigns of the 70s. Although focus groups might seem like a throwback, and their demise has been predicted many times in recent years, but for as many times as they've been declared dead, a victim of ever-improving digital analytics, they haven't gone anywhere. In 2017, $2.2 billion worldwide was spent on conducting focus groups, according to the trade group Esomar. Today, companies use focus groups to study and sell everything from frozen foods to summer blockbusters. Political parties use them to hone campaign messaging, as do government agencies concerned with public reaction to policy changes. Law firms even use them when trying to gauge how juries will respond to an argument or line of questioning, and when done correctly can be super effective. If you'd like a video on how to conduct an effective focus group and ensure common pitfalls like groupthink don't occur, let me know in the comments.